Hi everybody, welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna talk about the bass player of one of the most famous alternative rock bands of our time, Chris Wolstenholme of Muse. Muse have been reinventing themselves for the past 20 years, mixing alternative rock, pop, electronic and classical music. The power trio has a magic of its own, and though lead singer Matt Bellamy has always been the main creative force behind the band, Wolstenholme's bass lines are a central motif of many Muse songs. His riff-based grooves are smart and complex, never boring, often outlining chords on their own, as well as enhancing the vocal lines and complementing the guitar melodies. A big part of his tone comes from the gear, which involves a lot of pedals and settings, which has been already vastly discussed. Young Chris was not very excited about the way a bass guitar sounded on most records, so he started experimenting with sounds from the very beginning, and there are not two Muse records where the bass sounds alike, so there's no real standard. As usual, we're gonna focus on songwriting choices, and we will go through a few points that make Wolstenholme an outstanding bass player. Number 1. Arpeggios. Many of Chris's bass lines reflect arpeggiation, similar to that of the Bach cello suite, where the chord is outlined in an ascending manner with the third or fifth as the highest note. The bass line turns the piece almost into a classical composition. Guitar and bass are often swapping roles on this. To put it simple, to get the typical Muse vibe, you had to spell the chord you are supporting, playing an arpeggio using some notes belonging to the chord. For example, if the guitar is playing an E minor, D and C progression, instead of playing just the root note, you have to spell the chords, in this case using the octave, third and landing on the fifth. Matt Bellamy is a classical trained pianist, and his compositions often suggest or quote late classical and romantic era composers, such as Sergei Rachmaninoff. So in a way, Chris acts as the left hand of the pianist, or the bass. Number 2. Underline the minor third. The bass guitar often enhances the minor quality of the chord by hitting on the third. When I don't trust, home is becoming a killing field. There's a crosshair. Number 3. Open strings. Chris often takes advantage of open strings, playing lines that usually span the octave and jump up to the 12th fret for a thicker sound, while the open string acts as a pedal tone. And with the distortion pedal on, it sounds massive. Number 4. Funky chops. Though it's very rare to hear a slap bass on a Muse song, on a couple of occasions Chris ventured into funk territory and used this technique with amazing results. On Panic Station, beside the slapping part, he uses little partial chords that sound like a guitar response. He's playing the bass part and the guitar part. Seriously, this is one of the coolest bass lines of all time. Another cool example is Undisclosed Desires. I want to recognize your beauty is not just a Number 5. Octaves. Some good old octave runs are always an excellent choice to pump up a rhythm part, especially when there's no rhythm guitar. Uprising is the best example. Pretty much the whole song is made of octave runs. Number 6. 16th root notes runs. Another common solution that creates a consistent rhythm layer while keeping a simple drum pattern. Number 7. Descending chromaticism. Another of Chris's favorite moves is creating bass lines out of descending chromatic scales, like the bass line of Animals. There's a lot of bass variety in the music of Muse. There's plenty of original solutions and things you can learn from Chris. And obviously I can't fit them all in this video, so you should really go on and do your own research. This was just to give you an overview on some of the main aspects of one of the coolest bass players of modern rock, Chris Wolstenholme. Thank you very much for watching. Please follow me on Instagram, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a like.